They told you the serpent was the enemy, a symbol of sin, a liar, a tempter of downfall. But what if that was never true? What if the serpent is not the villain of the story, but the truth hidden within it? You were not cast out of paradise. You were cast inward into the journey of remembering, and the serpent is your guide. In the myth of Eden, we're taught one story: a woman deceived, a serpent punished, a paradise lost. But look closer. This isn't just a story about disobedience. It's a code, a warning, embedded in sacred metaphor. And the real deception? It wasn't from the serpent. It was about the serpent. Think about it. The serpent gave knowledge. The forbidden fruit opened eyes. The moment Eve ate, she saw. She wasn't cursed with sin. She was activated. Consciousness entered. The dream was broken. The garden was not lost. It transformed. Why demonize the being that gave awareness? Unless you're trying to keep awareness under control. Eden isn't a past event. It's a pattern. And this pattern repeats in you every time you feel the urge to rise. Because the serpent isn't just in the garden. It coils in your spine. The snake was sacred in nearly every ancient culture. Egyptian Uraeus, Kundalini fire, Quetzalcoatl, Naga. But then came empire. An empire needed obedience. So the serpent, symbol of divine awakening, was twisted into the devil. And you were told to fear the very force that could free you. And what you're about to see next might make you question everything you were taught about evil, truth, and your own body. This isn't abstract. The ancients weren't poetic for fun. The serpent in the garden is the same energy that coils in your body, hidden, dormant, but never dead. Known as Kundalini in the East, Uraeus in Egypt, it's a sacred fire that waits at the base of your spine. And when it awakens, everything changes. Perception sharpens. Time slows. You begin to remember things you never learned. And it begins with a subtle vibration, a hum deep inside. This is why ancient initiates prepared in silence, ritual, and darkness. Because raising the serpent isn't just an event, it's an initiation. You're not adding power to yourself. You're awakening what was already there. That's why the serpent was cast out, because it meant you wouldn't need them anymore. But this isn't just ancient memory. It's happening now. That tingling you feel at the back of your neck, that sudden urge to change your life, that's the serpent whispering, it's time. And in the next chapter, we'll uncover how this serpent force was encoded in sacred texts, not to be feared, but unlocked. The Bible, the Emerald Tablets, the Upanishads, they all speak of fire, ascent, light, and a serpent path, the spine, the staff, the rod that buds. Moses lifts a serpent on a pole and people are healed. That's not metaphor, that's energy work. In the East, it's even clearer. Serpent power rises through chakras, igniting light within. In Kabbalah, the tree of life reflects the same ascent. Each sephirot, a rung of remembering. The serpent isn't chaos, it's the path home. Close your eyes, feel the base of your spine. Is there a subtle warmth, a buzz? That's not your imagination. That's the echo of remembrance. These codes were never meant to be locked away. They were placed in plain sight, so only the ready would see. The serpent isn't evil, it's sacred memory, and it's yours. And in the next chapter, we'll uncover why you were taught to fear it, and how that fear still controls the world today. Why do religions warn against occult knowledge? Why did they call the serpent Satan? Because if you awakened, you'd be ungovernable. You wouldn't obey from fear. You'd embody divine will. Control only thrives when you believe you're broken, but the serpent tells a different story. One where divinity lives in you. One where your body is not a prison, but a temple. The fall from Eden wasn't a fall. It was a rise from ignorance. You didn't fall from grace. You fell into consciousness. And that original sin, it wasn't disobedience. It was sovereignty. The serpent didn't tempt. It activated. And soon, we'll show you how to awaken it. Because, in the final chapter, the serpent speaks, and you remember who you really are. The path is not a distant quest. It coils within, a sacred fire waiting to ignite your true nature. This serpent is the thread that connects your body, mind, and spirit, weaving them into a tapestry of awakening. When it rises, you begin to see the world as a reflection of your own inner light and shadow. Duality softens, judgment fades. What was once fragmented becomes whole. This is the true reconciliation of Eden, the union of serpent and dove. The serpent whispers of cycles, death and rebirth, night and day, chaos and order. It invites you to embrace your wounds as sacred portals, each scar a doorway to deeper knowing. The garden is not lost. It's hidden beneath layers of fear and forgetting. To awaken the serpent is to shed illusions, to reclaim the primal wisdom buried beneath conditioning. This is why the ancients called it Sophia, divine wisdom embodied. The awakening serpent also speaks in symbols. The Ouroboros, the eternal cycle consuming and renewing itself. The Caduceus, wings of Hermes rising above dual serpents, symbolizing transcendence through balance. The Kundalini, fire rising to illuminate every chakra, every facet of being. When the serpent speaks, you start to remember, you are not separate from the cosmos. You are the cosmos expressing itself in form. The serpent's rise is your homecoming, the reunion with the self that never left. And as you rise, the veil thins between this world and the hidden realms. But what if the serpent's true power goes far beyond what you've been taught? What if the awakening is only just beginning? What you'll see next will challenge everything you thought you knew about yourself. Fear is the shadow that kept the serpent locked away in myth and doctrine. Fear of power, fear of change, fear of stepping beyond old roles and stories. But the serpent's fire burns through fear, not by erasing it, but by transforming it. It alchemizes doubt into courage, confusion into clarity, bondage into freedom. When the serpent rises, you realize, you were never a victim of circumstance, but a sovereign co-creator. Your emotions are sacred messengers, your body a temple of miracles. This awakening moves beyond dogma, beyond external rules. It calls you to live the truth within. This is the ancient promise. The serpent's awakening does not lead to chaos, but to order. Not to destruction, but to creation. It is the fire that burns away illusion, leaving only essence. And in essence, you find freedom. The final step in this awakening is surrender, not to fear, but to flow. The serpent teaches you how to dance with life's rhythms, how to flow with your own inner currents, not resist them. This is sovereignty, the power to navigate your own soul's path. But what if surrender is the beginning of a greater mastery? The mastery not over the world, but over yourself. What you will discover next could transform your very destiny. You see, to walk the path of the serpent is to walk between worlds, the seen and unseen, the known and unknown, light and shadow. It is to carry the fire of awakening into every moment, to live as a bridge between the ancient wisdom and the modern soul. You become the living serpent, a guardian of sacred mysteries within and without. This path asks for courage, patience, and devotion. You will face resistance, from others and from your own fears. But the serpent's gift is resilience, the ability to shed what no longer serves. Every challenge is an invitation to rise higher, to deepen your awakening. The serpent path is also a path of service. As you awaken, you become a beacon for others lost in darkness. Your light is a healing balm, a call to remember the divine spark in all. This is not a journey for the faint-hearted. It is a soul's calling. The serpent is your eternal companion, a guide, a guardian, a sacred flame lighting your way through the mysteries of existence. To live as the serpent is to live fully, awake, aware, and free. But the path is never truly complete. There is one final revelation, a truth so profound it will forever alter how you see your journey. Turns out the serpent's story is your story, not a tale of punishment, but of potential. The garden was never lost, only hidden, waiting for your return. To awaken the serpent within is to step into the fullness of your being, to remember that you are light, shadow, and everything in between. This is the true mystery, the awakening of the self, not by outside saviors, but by the ancient fire within. As you walk this path, carry this truth gently and boldly. You are the serpent. You are the garden. You are the light returning to itself. Thank you for journeying into this sacred truth. If this message called to your soul, share it, so others may awaken too. Remember, the serpent never left the garden. It was waiting for you. And now, with this knowledge, the real question is, what will you do with the serpent's fire inside you?